My name is Amadi Amadi, and I'm here to speak on behalf of Engineer Adokiye Tombomieye. Adokiye would have loved to be here. In fact, even last night we spoke, and he said, please go and represent me. I am unable to attend because I've been called to other national duties. So he's extended his felicitations to all of you that are here. And he's going to watch you. I don't know whether you guys know, you're being streamed live across the world. So in between his meetings, he's going to look in and see what you guys are doing. So be the best that you can be today. I think all protocols are observed, so I don't want to repeat what has been said, but give me the opportunity to make a few comments just to put some stakes in the sand. This is not the first of the World Environment Day celebrations. Our chairman, Alobo Opone Batubo, said this started in 1973-74, and if you count to 2025, these are several years. Now, the first question I pose to all of us is, if this is effective over 20, 30 years, how come we're struggling with preserving the environment? That is food for thought, number one. The second food for thought for all of us is that we always look up to government, to non-governmental agencies, to industries, to others, but we never look at ourselves to ask ourselves the critical question, what is my contribution to environmental conservation or environmental protection? So I also charge all of us today. So it's not just quiz competition, get a prize, get an award and go back to school and put it on the badge as an ego. No, it's not. It's about constantly reminding yourself and asking yourself the question, what am I contributing to this entire space? And what is the legacy I want to leave? So permit me to say a few things just to bring this home, at the risk of even going into what our guest speaker is going to say, but that's no problem if we emphasize the points. The first one is the theme is chosen to reflect a present world issue. So this year's theme is Beat Plastic Pollution. Some call it End Plastic Pollution, one and the same thing. And just to give you a data point for why this is very important. Plastics from production to use and to waste disposal contaminate oceans, fresh water, they kill birds, they also affect human beings. And it's not just the world, it's also in Nigeria. If you take a trip around any street and look into the drainages, you will see pure water waste plastics, you will see styrofoam cups, you will see water bottles, you will see Coke, Sprite, all kinds of bottles. Now, we may think that they are plastic. They do no harm to the environment. That is completely wrong. Plastics do a lot of harm to the environment. For one, birds mistake these plastic scraps for food. Some of them are thrown away with foods. And when they ingest them, some of the birds also die. The plastic that we have in the environment takes at least 1,000 years to degrade. However, in the process of degradation, in the process of decomposition, fragments are broken. And those fragments form what we call microplastics. And it's on record, it's in literature now that microplastics from plastic pollutions are even more dangerous than the plastics that you see in the gutters. So if this is true, and we now know that microplastics affects our health because they cause us reproductive problems, they cause us liver problem, they cause us lung problem, Why wouldn't we take this as a national crisis and begin to address it? So I thank Port Harcourt Link and all the members for being a big advocate for this topic. God bless all of you, and I hope you will continue to do this without failing. Let me also give you two more contexts and I'll stop. The first one is that on the average, the waste from plastic is about 400 million tons globally. In Nigeria, it's estimated about 2.5 million tons. Waste itself. Now, why waste 400 million tons if you can reuse them, if you can recycle them, if you can recover them, and if you can reutilize them? So there's an opportunity there that we're missing. And I urge you, especially the young ones, to begin to look into that area and see what you can do. I met a lady in Port Harcourt here recently that is making tons of money through recycling of plastics here in Port Harcourt. So there's an economic benefit. But that's not it. There's also the fear that although we are producing 400 million tons today, it's going to increase to 1.2 billion tons by 2060. Now, our environment cannot carry that as much as we would wish. So we have to act. And there are several ways we can act. Again, without going into details of what the guest speaker is going to talk about, I, as an individual, I have determined to do a couple of things, and I want us to note this down, because every change begins with me, begins with you, begins with us. The first one is that I have made an ethical commitment to stay away from single-use plastic bottles. So single-use plastic bottles are the ones you use once and you throw away. So you buy something that you can wash and reuse, so that when you go to the water fountain, instead of using a styrofoam cup and drinking and trashing, you can reuse your own personal cup. That's one of my commitments. My second commitment is that when I go to the shopping malls, I don't ask for 20 different bags for everything I want to shop. If I'm going to buy in bulk, we go with a bag. We shop in bag, and then we save the plastics. So that is my personal commitment. And I'm hoping that this is resonating with some of us in the room today. Okay? And if you choose to use strong plastics, then please reuse them. Okay? There's also an opportunity for us to, instead of buying crates of waters, to buy the big ones that we put in a fountain that dispense and we go and reuse. So all of this we can do. But above all, please focus in wherever you are. Be an advocate of plastic reuse, plastic reduction, plastic recycling, and plastic recovery and proper disposal. Now, the last thing I want to say is to Port Harcourt Link. Again, I remember we started World Environment Day celebrations in about 1996, 1995. And we have done it for 30 years. Please, do not make this just a yearly event where we come in, advocate for proper ways of managing waste, and then disappear and wait for another 1 year. Let it be on record that the chairman of this occasion, Adokiye Tombomieye, wants all of us to practice what we preach. And also, not just wait for 1 year. We can influence the cause of conservation of nature. We can influence the cause of protection of the environment. Quarterly by our activities, by annually, but even weekly. So let's not wait to do this annually. Lastly, on behalf of myself and the chairman, I want all of us to be very participative in what happens today. The mark of a brilliant student is what you take away from an event and what you do with what you take away. So it's not just about this big prize and the award, but what is the learning for you? When you go back to school, what are you going to tell your colleagues that you saw here and you want them to practice? On behalf of the chairman, I hereby declare this event open. Thank you.